welcome to Couple Argues About Video Games. I'm Sophie.
I'm Jesse.
And today we're going to be reviewing Braid.
Now, Braid is a 2D puzzle platformer that came out back in 2008, originally on Xbox Live Arcade, and it was created by Jonathan Blow, who did last week's, or 2 weeks ago, or whenever, game we did, The Witness.
Yep, so it's since come out in a few different platforms. We played it on PlayStation 3.
And as per all of our reviews, we played it for a minimum of 5 hours. I managed to beat the game because I'm fucking great. Yeah. The visuals were what they had to be. The game isn't about the visuals, but they were pretty. It looked like an art piece.
Yeah.
The art style had the same sort of wank that the story does, in a good way. It's a friendly wank, like a wank from a friend.
I honestly didn't care. Like, I didn't think that they were particularly pretty or particularly ugly. They just, did their job.
It had a nice, some of the backgrounds have a really nice, like, what kind of watercolour feel to them. But
I like the paintings.
End of the day, they are very, very basic and very reminiscent of Super Mario. All the characters, the Super Mario characters, basically. Just with a bit of a weird hipster twist on them.
Alternate dimension Mario.
What are those little head things like?
Goombas.
Goombas. So they've got these little Goomba clones with little heads with little curly hair. No, don't know what the fuck that's about.
When I first heard the music, I hated it. I found it really grating on my ears. It took me a good, at least through the first world to get used to it. I was not a fan.
I didn't mind it. I find it quite soothing. I would put my fist through the TV if it wasn't, because he's puzzled, but we'll get to that in a second. It was really cool because the main mechanic in this game is time manipulation. So when you rewind time, you do get the music going backwards, which really suits. It just created this weird chaos to everything. But you can slow it down by certain increments. So if you slow it down enough, it sounds like you're raising fucking demons and shit. Which would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I only grew to love it once I started doing a lot of the time reversal, because that's when it occurred to me that that's why it is the style that it is, because it sounds nice backwards. It doesn't sound awful, because if it was a really sort of boppy, trendy soundtrack, it would be really grating to listen to backwards.
Trendy?
Yeah.
So as explained, time manipulation plays a huge part in this game. You use it in order to go through different worlds, to collect puzzle pieces. Each world will have a different rule set. You complete puzzles to complete pictures, to get to the top, and to get to the epilogue and end your story.
I found the time manipulation still really hard to get I found it hard to get my head around it. I was still so used to trying to solve it as a normal platformer game, to beat the boss by jumping on top of him or something like that. I couldn't get over that's what I had to do, and it was so weird never dying, because you never die. You sort of die in a sense, and you're about to, but it just forces you to reverse time. So that was still something that took me quite a while to get used to.
So you just brought up something we haven't discussed. I love the boss battle. I think
that
was
was
so
fantastic.
Fucking well done.
Yeah, they were really good. I really liked the puzzles. I didn't find them too difficult. I never had to look at a guide. Some of them did feel like it was a bit round. It wasn't particularly clear. It wasn't
You get them by
obvious.
fluke sometimes. Sometimes you can look at a puzzle and you're like, okay, I understand the laws of the mechanic in this world, and I understand how they'll apply to this puzzle. I understand how to do this. But then, in actual practice, the split-second timing of things just would... You didn't feel clever sometimes for beating a puzzle, because it beat it out of you. It's like, great, I've rewound time for 8 fucking minutes.
There are some where you pretty much, because you press square on the PlayStation 3 to rewind time. There's some where you just randomly sort of press it at intervals until it works. Until the puzzle works.
So I finally beat the game today. A few hours ago I beat it. And there was one of the last puzzles you have to get... There are these plants that come out,
Piranha plants.
Piranha plants, basically. They come out at different intervals, and you have to use the laws in that world in order to get them down all at the same time. That took me at least an hour. Just to get the timing done. I knew exactly how to do it. It wasn't hard.
You're going to think I'm a complete fuckwit.
Yep.
There's a puzzle that's early on in the game where you've got to reach a key, but it's in a small sort of crawl space. Now, I know this makes no game development logic at all, but I thought perhaps you had to hold down square and reverse time so far that you became a child and you could then crawl through the hole. This is the way my brain works.
This is why I'm glad we don't have kids, because that'd be fucking idiots. Hairy idiots as well. Actually, I can't argue with you, because
Because it doesn't explain it. The game doesn't explain anything. Even if you go
Jonathan
to help,
Blow not wanting to explain how to play his game.
even if you go to help, and I actually like this. I think you don't like it, but I like it. Even if you go to the help section, it doesn't explain that you're to rewind time. Yeah, it just says jump on enemies, collect puzzle pieces. That's
my fucking motto in life.
all it is. Heads up, we will be discussing spoilers in this section, so please just finish watching the video here if you...
Go watch our last one, give it a like.
Yeah,
Why
do
not?
that. Or go wank or something.
Fuck off. Fuck right off.
So...
Jesus Christ.
So the story of Braid is told when you enter each world, you go past books, and when you pass each book, it has a little,
Fuck, speaking of wank.
It has almost like little chapters, little sentences, sort of giving... It starts off as if it's explaining what the story is, but it starts to become more and more ambiguous and sort of what if, possibly... You start to sort of think maybe this isn't exactly what's happened.
So in a few interviews I've read with Jonathan Blow about this game, he's come out and said he doesn't want to give anyone the exact story of what it is, but he said it has been... It took him 3 years to make, so he's like, there is a story, and it is very well done. But he wants everyone to have their own interpretation of it. Which makes me think, maybe the story's not that fucking well done, is it, mate?
I love it. I love ambiguous endings.
Fucking wanker.
If anyone's seen Beowulf, I love that film, because the ending...
Yeah, but it had a fucking story up to that point, didn't it? It had Angelina Jolie naked in it. Yeah.
Actually, that wasn't her body. She was like 7 months pregnant when they shot that film. It was just her head.
That's why I found her attractive. Oh, I don't even like her head. Anyway, that's what this game needed. More Angelina Jolie pregnant.
Body double.
That was the whole fucking point of the game. Tim, that was your princess.
I think it's almost a commentary or a reference to the way that men see women. This is going to sound really hipstery, but... So pretty much in the end, you find out that you're the bad guy. You've been playing as the bad guy the whole time. And it's almost the reverse of Mario. You're not saving the princess, you're stealing the princess, essentially. So I almost feel, from what's written in the stories, I almost feel as if this is a man who... It's the story of a guy who's trying to manipulate a woman into loving him. But the thing is, he may not even know her. He may not even be friends with her. Maybe this is all... in his head. This relationship is in his head, and it's about...
I know that game. What a
yeah,
time.
and he's either that or he's using the time manipulation as if that's a real thing to manipulate her into loving him. Like, if he makes mistakes, he can then reverse them, and she would be none the wiser.
So the way I see it is, you get to a certain point and you read these little books at the start of each level, which don't string together that coherently, which leads to your interpretation. But he mentions another woman, and the way I see it is Tim has a lady friend, but he wants somebody new. So he wants to leave her, and he's tricked this woman using his time manipulation stuff in order to get her to love him. But she understands that he wants to move on, and she accepts it in these little books. And he wants to go to the next person. And the way I see it is, he'll go to the next person, still not be happy, and then keep going to the next person, and just leave this wake of destruction. Which kind of leads to one of the most popular theories online, that the princess is an A-bomb. Now, admittedly, I haven't seen many women in my life, but they don't all look like fucking bombs. Okay? If a game wants to have a fucking bomb in it, you know what you put? Okay, call me fucking crazy. A bomb. Nah, man. That's a dumb theory. If you think that, you're dumb.
I think you're onto something with the other woman theory, because there's that...
He had another bomb.
There's that saying that for every beautiful woman, there's a guy who's tired of fucking her. It's kind of like the princess.
Fucking hell.
Haven't you heard that?
No. We don't all live in nice
No, you know,
houses.
whenever there's a hot celebrity and, you know, and they get dumped, and then it's like, oh, how could they dump her? She's so hot. It's kind of like for every hot woman, there's a man who's tired of fucking her. So I think maybe the princess is just whoever he's in love with at the moment. His new, and once he gets her, it's never good enough.
So he's done the old come and run, but he's got time manipulation as well, so that's what makes the game.
I get a very time traveler's wife vibe from the story.
Because of the time travel?
No, because he's manipulating someone.
Oh, okay. I was going to say it was like Back to the Future.
Manipulating with someone's emotions.
Boo. Okay. So, overall, I liked the game, except for one massive fucking thing that annoyed me. It annoyed me about The Witness last week as well. Gameplay, great. Story, though ambiguous, to a point of almost being lazy writing, the way I feel. They're not linked. Nothing I'm doing within the world feels like it's affecting the story, and that fucking frustrates me in games. I want them to be linked and intertwined, that everything you do feels like it's having an effect, and there's causation from the story. Like, it needs to fucking be linked. I could get the same story about fucking A-bombs and princesses and have a completely different gameplay. I could put that on a racer and just say it's ambiguous storytelling. No, fuck right off. This could be a masterpiece. Oh, it is a masterpiece. People love this game.
Is it a masterpiece because people love it, or is it a masterpiece because you love it? That is the question.
Oh my god, this game fucking got to you. You're all wanking now.
Yeah, this is where we disagree, because I love this game. This game is right up my alley. I love ambiguity. I love wank. Yeah, I like, someone recommended this game to me to play, and I'm glad they did, because it's perfect for me. It's everything. Like, I love puzzle games anyway, but yeah, I like everything. I love the way it tells the story. I don't really think about if the story matches the gameplay. Like, I feel as if maybe gameplay came first when Jonathan Blow was creating this game, and then he just sort of tacked on a story as well. And I get that they aren't linked, but I don't know, that doesn't really affect my opinion on it.
And then you go through the final room where you find a few more notes, you find that A-bomb quote, and there are a few books that you can't read, and a few little puzzles that actually don't do anything. I looked into it. Jonathan Blow's like, oh yeah, a lot of people think that these little puzzle aspects in that last level will do things. They don't. I just decided to put them in there. It just didn't all gel together. I felt the gameplay was just pauses between story.
Yeah.
Some of the rooms you can literally run through.
I found the story is what's driving me more to play through each world rather than the puzzles.
That's exactly how I was thinking as well. But having finished the game, I was frustrated in the end. The ending is amazing. The reveal was really, really well done, which frustrates me further that sort of twist and storytelling wasn't laid out throughout the whole game. My deal.
I feel like maybe it would have been better if the books were after each level within each world to sort of keep you going, because I read that he was worried that too many people would play the game and find the puzzles too hard and then quit and never get to the end, and that's why you can pretty much skip a lot of it. So you can only get maybe half the puzzle pieces and still complete the game, and all the story is at the start of each world, so you pretty much read that whole section, then you do the puzzles. So I feel like that's almost... I don't know if that's either maybe your game is a little bit too hard and you're not confident, or maybe people are better than that and you just have low expectations. I'm not sure.
So what?
I feel like it's a little bit lazy to sort of just make it that half your game is skippable.
Yeah, it kind of felt weird. I ran through the whole first level, I'm like, whew,
Like,
I'm fucking great am I? And I'm like, oh.
Could you imagine if Portal did that? Like, it would ruin your experience. You need to have faith that your design is good enough and that people will persist and complete it. I mean, it's never going to be perfect. People are always going to give up, but...
So, what do we play next week?
We're going to be playing Far Cry Primal on the PlayStation 4.
Sweet. So, tune in next week. Hopefully it's out next week. If you like the video, like it, comment, share it, do all those type of things.
Wank to it.
Wank to it. Why not? I will be. See you then. Peace.